He takes a breath before he has the courage to walk inside the house. I can feel his emotions. The camera follows him closely. There, on the table, lies the lifeless body of his mom.
Oh, there do I see my mother.
Kratos mourns in silence. He feels angry, but honestly to me, if anything, he just feels tired. He has lost so much during his lifetime. This feels like one more final straw. The woman who gave him a son, the woman that he possibly loved, son who he has been neglecting, as he was almost absent from the boy's life. The boy, however, is trying to cope with all of this, and he feels like he's left alone in the world. The old, white, serious man next to him plays, instead of a father figure, more the role of a guardian.
She's ready.
She's ready, the boy says, and I felt it in my stomach. Whatever this woman was, all that she was when she was alive, all of it is reflected in Atreus, her son, her wonderful son. One day he will turn out to be an amazing man. He does have all the best characteristics, taken probably mostly from her, while just in appearance, the only thing he seems to have gotten from his father Kratos is physical strength. Kratos' theory of life is a simple one. We do what we please.
We do what we please, boy. No excuses.
I wish Mom was here to see it.
Come, boy.
Come, boy, when he actually wanted to touch him and tell him that all will be fine. But come, boy is all he can say, even if he wanted so much more. He has shut away his feelings for such a long time, it's almost impossible for him to express anything else.
Wait, us?
Behind me.
Stay behind me. This pretty much sums up Kratos' relationship with his own son.
This fight is
Less
mine.
of a father, more of a teacher. Less of a friend, more of a guardian. Now that his woman is gone, his son is all that remains to him. And his son is everything. And there's nothing he won't do to protect him. Stay behind me is his way of saying, I love you. To me, if anything, God of War felt more of a declaration of love. An old man carrying the ashes of his beloved woman top of a mountain and guiding his only son through the journey ahead that will most likely help him become a
I
man.
couldn't even care if she was.
Mind your tongue, boy. Until our journey is over, one of us must remain focused. Do not mistake my silence for lack of grief. Mourn how you wish. Leave me to my own.
I'm sorry.
God of War, or also known as the Angry Dad game, that finally came out to PC. And speaking of, don't you just feel like this amazing platform is the ultimate unifier somehow of all the good things that ever happen in gaming? Everything being brought to PC just shines. Sure, let's not exaggerate, some ports across the years have lacked in performance optimization or any other stuff. But one thing is always constant. The graphics will always be pushed to the max. Everything that is ported over to PC just looks so much better. For sure, you are here to find out if you really want to spend your money on this video game, and the decision is an absolute no-brainer. Yes, and if you've never played of God of War, this one right here, it is the perfect place to start. I find myself in the exact same boat as you, as I too have never played of God of War video game. I've never owned a console for roughly around 20 years, been playing everything on a computer. And from what I know of God of War's story, the timeline here feels a bit confusing. Sure, I thought Kratos was supposed to be from Greece, and he's a Spartan. He was, maybe, but I guess he chose to come to the Norse lands to take a break from his past and war. As you play along, immediately you realize war follows him everywhere. Unfortunate, not just for him, but for his son as well, because he's constantly admitting that he doesn't want to get involved. He keeps saying to Atreus at every single corner, it's not our business, move along. But you will see that it's almost impossible to do so, and without even realizing it, before you know it, you are in the thick of it, and conflict is everywhere. The writers, oh man, these people did an amazing job with the story. First off, nobody here is trying to save the world. Thank God. And I'm just tired of dudes and heroes trying to save the world. Instead, the duo are on their own journey of mourning, discovery, and growth. I'm still trying hard not to show you any spoilers, at least not too much, or talk about any of it. Some of you may know quite a lot because the game has been out since 2018, but just like myself, I haven't played it, and the majority of the story I didn't knew nothing about. But I will say this, the boy needs to become a young man. A journey where the father will teach the boy everything he needs to know about surviving and becoming a better version of himself. And honestly, I absolutely love it. My heart sings for this. When was the last time? No, I've never played a story like this. This is the first time. I'm also a guy, and for better or for worse, I also have an angry father. Anger comes from not being able to, resentment, wanting more and not being able to obtain it. Perhaps one day I too wish to go on a journey with my dad. Hopefully not in such sad circumstances. Mind you, very careful here, Kratos is an angry dad, but he is not a hateful one or bitter, and he doesn't kill for sport. He loves the boy very, very much, and he wants to protect him. And if you know anything about this Spartan called Kratos, you know family will always come first. His skin is ghost white for a reason. And since this was played on PC, gameplay and performance, let's talk about it.
But you know what really counts? Consistency. And I got that coming out of all of my parts.
God of War, so far, from what I've seen, has one of the best skills system I've ever encountered in a game, at least in modern day gaming. And since gaming has only been around for 30 years maybe, and I am old, this just might be one of the very best skill tree systems I've ever encountered in an action RPG. Instead of adding points into passive skills whenever you level up, like let's say adding 3 points in defense and then being able to equip gear that requires defense on your character stats, this most likely is something that we see everywhere implemented. God of War does it different. In fact, it does it the other way around. Gear influences skills. Gear has stats, and it matters what you equip on yourself because that will influence Kratos' stats. And by choosing to wear certain gear, you can unlock and spend points in certain skills specifically designed for the gear you have on you. You can swap gear, thus being able to learn other skills and changing a little bit the combat style. I must say, guys, this is very refreshing. After changing the armor and stuff, I was pretty happy because I got the skills unlocked and I was able to, you know, get the stuff that I wanted. Still a bit disappointed because my massive damage was gone. I went from a strength build to a defense build, but I guess compromises have to be made, and that's the beauty of it. You know, you can't have it all. You kind of have to choose. Kratos doesn't open treasures, he smashes them. Typical. The combat system, it's not perfect. It's still like a 9 out of 10, but I felt like I kind of wanted a bit something different, but it's better definitely than Witcher 3, for sure. And, you know, the camera does pretty much everything because the way it shakes and the proximity, how close is from behind the shoulder, it gives a little bit more realism and weight to the hits. You actually feel you're swinging that axe. And when Kratos blocks, he actually blocks. You see it, you feel it. And if you play it on a controller, the haptics are great. A ton of customizable options in the menu. Thank you, developers. This is how you implement a menu in a PC port. From camera lock or from camera intensity shake, pretty much everything you need to make the graphics run even on lower end hardware. I read about it that some say this runs well, I don't know what well means, on integrated graphics. It's hard to believe, but that's what they're saying. All I know and all I tested is that DLSS and AMD FX works. My graphics card is AMD, but I understand the DLSS and NVIDIA here is implemented beautifully. I mean it. They actually work, and the performance and frames that you can get is massive. Like, it actually makes a difference, especially for folks with lower end computers. Personally, I had my FX turned off. I played it all in native 2K resolution, set to high. I didn't want my CPU to do the heavy lifting, but I was able to get smooth frames with incredible visuals. I kind of feel, maybe I'm wrong, don't quote me on this, the textures and the pixel density in Assassin's Creed Valhalla wins. It's newer and I guess it just has more to offer. Except God of War graphics still has something better. It's the stunning visuals of the world they created. Something like you've never seen before. You've never seen it. There is no video game that looks like God of War 2018. Everything and everywhere you go, things are so impressive to the eye. This world is a gigantic print screen. You just want to take pictures everywhere. And you can. There's just moments when you're standing still and you just want to take it all in. You can press escape in cutscenes even at the right moment and get amazing results like this. One of the best photo modes applications out there. Something a bit similar to what we see nowadays in Forza Horizon 5. You will appreciate it. There's tons to post on forums or show off to your friends.
It's so good to see you.
Gotta keep it short, at least. I don't need to convince you to play God of War. It really feels like this effort of gaming done by the developers, this is as good as it gets, at least for where technology is right now. At least for the moment, story, visuals, action, you're not gonna find something that rivals this masterpiece. Even right now, considering the game has been out since 2018, I don't know what is to come or what will come in 2022. Even right now, this could be Game of the Year once again. It's that good. And if you've ever played or wanted to play something on PC, you should definitely play Portal 2. Just don't forget to give God of War a try as well. My name is Rocashu. Thank you so much for listening and watching. This one, guys, is for the collection.
The climb seems ill-advised.
Quiet head.
a little ways.